afternoon, everyone. I'm Fidelis Apollo Nwaisu. I want to appreciate the African Voices International for giving me this opportunity to speak on a topic, the Afro-Optimistic Freedom Giant. I want to appreciate you for this opportunity given unto me. I want to also appreciate my president, the president of Mr. Isaac. I want to thank you for this opportunity. Quickly, because of time, I would like us to pay good attention to this. Now, I am asked to speak on Afro-Optimistic Freedom Giant. We're talking about Afro-Optimistic. The Afro-Optimistic, there is Afro, there is optimistic, and there is a freedom giant. Afro simply means, in a simple term, in a layman language, simply means Africa. When we're talking about Afro, we are talking about Africa. It could be an African man, African woman, African child, African youth. We talk about Africa. Being optimistic simply means being positive. Being positive. So, as a freedom giant, we are to be positive. We have to be positive. So when we're talking about Afro-Optimistic Freedom Giant, we are simply talking about an Africa or a freedom giant in Africa that has, a good mindset or attitude that expect positive outcome even in a challenging situation. Just like we are today in Africa, there are a lot of challenging situations that has before us today in Africa that we don't even know where about to go. We don't even know what to do. We don't even know. Sometimes when we see our so-called leaders, I don't call them leaders, I call them politicians, our head of states, sitting, discussing on the way forward that they cannot even actualize. I'm so glad that I heard the president of Uganda talking about the foreigner coming to establish industries in his own country so that they will be able to create jobs for the youth. Now, these are some of the things that we have to be optimistic for. Now, if you listen to his speech during this past AU uh, assembly, the speech so much encouraging, is so much encouraging for a freedom giant to believe that yes, there is need for being optimistic. Now there is hope. It comes with a lot of hope that someday Africa will going to be great again. Now, what are those challenges that are before us as a freedom giant? One has to ask this question: what are the challenges that are before us that we need to be optimistic as freedom giants? We talk about poverty, we talk about unemployment, we talk about diseases, we talk about starvation, we talk about a whole lot of things that are before us here in Africa. Do we have hope that things are going to change for better? Yes, there is hope. So long we keep pushing, so long we keep pushing, so long we keep standing tall, speaking out for the right governance, things will definitely change. I am so pleased with when I heard him speaking, the Uganda president speaking in this past assembly. I was so glad that these people are beginning to take a bold step to reform or transform Africa to what Africa is supposed to be. Now, if one wants to be spiritual about all these things, you remember the words of Solomon in the in the book of Proverbs 28 verse 1 and Proverbs 29 verse 2. Now, talking about when the wicked are in authority, the people mourn. But for we to be optimistic, for we to be able to achieve everything we need to achieve to make Africa great, we have to be in the corridor of power. I always say this: we have to be in the corridor of power. If you are not in the decision making body of your government, of your state, you will not be able to effect any change. So we have to stand tall, we have to be in the corridor of power to effect the change that we need to effect. This is my submission. Thank you very much, Freedom Giant. Thank you, Africa. God bless Africa.